Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie and it is Monday, which means I am back with this week's WIP and Chat. If you are new, first off, I always want to extend the very warmest welcome to you and say I'm glad you're here and I hope you enjoyed today's video. WIP stands for Work in Progress, if you didn't know, and I'm going to be working on a diamond painting like I usually am. And chat, well, that part means I'm just going to be talking your ear off for the next hour or so. If you are back and this is not the first video you're catching from me, I'm so glad that you're back. Thank you for coming to hang out with me again today, and I hope you're doing well and that you enjoyed today's video too. Now, let me tell you just briefly what I am working on and with today. The kit itself is called The Last Fairy. It is from Craftibly, which is a diamond painting shop that has since closed, and this is something you'd have to try to track down in like a destash or something like that. It is by the artist Warmtail, and they have the licensing through Shutterstock. That's a totally above board thing to do. And yes, so like I said, unfortunately can't get this one directly from their website. And you know, even though this is a Shutterstock image, I haven't seen any other shops pick up Warmtail's artwork like this one from there. So I don't know, maybe in the future though, I guess we'll see. As far as accessories go, I'm going to be using this pen from Butterfly Effectwares. I don't remember the name of this particular colorway, but it feels very, it's like beachy, summery to me a little bit with the different colors in it. Then I'm going to be using this tray from Firefly. This specifically is the Ignite style of tray from them. So really love their trays as well. In my single placer, I'll be using Patty Wax. I have this Just Peachy scent, which also feels summery to me. And then in my multi-placer, I'll be using Putty from Tracy's DP World. And all of these shops are currently still open and have these kinds of accessories available. If you wanted to go and do some shopping, I'll have all of these shops linked below. I'll also try to remember to link to their socials because I completely understand that it's not in the budget for everyone to do shopping right now. And one free way, well, there's kind of multiple upsides to it. A free way to support small shops is to follow their socials. And it's also a way that you can stay up to date with future drops from them, maybe for someday that you do have the budget and are looking to shop. That just helps you kind of stay posted, I guess, with what they've got going on. Also, it's one of those things that, like, if you were to take a look now and you're thinking, well, nothing's really catching my eye, then following their socials just lets you see when they do maybe sales or new releases, and then maybe you will see something that catches your eye. So I don't know. The single tip on this pen is totally empty and clean, which makes me think I've maybe never actually used this pen before. So this will be fun. Let me go ahead and load up with wax and putty here. I always like to do a little bit of a fresh start in these videos. It's an excuse to clean out whatever multi-placer has the gunkiest putty. So this looks so psychedelic, but it smells so good. I'd say Tracy's DP World, well, let's see, it's been a little bit since, I don't know if I've really used it since we've changed over into our hot summery months here, summery days, I guess. I'm doing this off camera so I can use a really hard, firm surface to, there we go. I'll report back at the end of the video on how this is behaving as far as if it feels like it's soft or sticky or if it's doing fine in spite of the heat here. Different putties will be more temperamental than others, just as far as if they don't work as well in different weather and climate conditions. That's why whenever someone asks for a putty recommendation, I have to ask what your weather's like because it can vary wildly. Now, I did a video earlier this year that I kind of intended to be like Wax and Putty 101. I talked about some different tips and advice for using wax and putty, as well as some suggestions based on, like, if you live in a hot, humid climate, these putties and waxes might be more likely to work for you versus if you're in a dry, cooler climate. I feel like dry and cool climates tend to be more forgiving, and you can use a lot more different putty options. It's the hot, humid areas that it gets trickier, and we're in the summer months, so I know that's what a lot of us are dealing with. I feel like Tracy's DP World is decent for that. My go-to kind of really easily reliable putty, especially for really hot, humid areas, is probably Randa's Crafty Corner. And they've been around for forever, so they've got it down to a science here. Okay, let's open up this section. I know I didn't really show you, if you were curious, where on the image we are. So her face is actually like right there out of frame. We are opening up this row, and it's like this section right here. So you could see the arch right there. There'll be some special drills in there. I'll have to make sure I save those, placing those ABs for last probably, because trying to place ABs with fresh putty is like worst nightmare material for diamond painting. It's such a headache. I avoid it at all costs if I can. But let me go ahead and grab a color and we'll get started. Now with these Craftibly kits, something I did run into, and I often on their kits, including this one, is some similar symbols. So if you were to work on a Craftibly kit, either from your personal stash already, or if you get one from a destash, look really carefully, because they'll even, I mean, often they're really different colors, like these two. So as long as you're paying attention to the colors, you'll usually be okay. But then there are some that will be even more similar, like just slightly different. I'm trying to think. There was one in this kit, but now I'm looking at the symbols out of frame and I'm just, it's not jumping out at me. There's a few other similar ones. Oh, there's these, but again, these are two different colors. So just be checking the one that you're grabbing. Yeah, I remember running into that in past Craftibly kits. For me, it's worth it. I really enjoy Craftibly kits a lot. And I'm really confident that if they had been able to stick around, that this is something that they would have fixed. But they shut down, and was it 2022? It was the just saddest set of unfortunate circumstances, and I'm still not over it. Every time I work on a Craftibly kit, you'll hear me talk about it a little bit, because it was really unfortunate. And they were one of those companies that they fulfilled everyone's orders to the very end. They weren't sketchy whatsoever. It was just a bad set of circumstances, with like mostly related to shipping delays. So anyway, hello. Let me start on a happier note here. Hi, how are you doing today? I hope that you had a wonderful weekend and that your week is off to a great start. It's Sunday evening and I'm winding down my weekend, and this is always a really nice chance to decompress and process from the weekend and last week, and getting to just sit down and catch you guys up a little bit. Though it is the end of the month, and depending on how my schedule falls, I'm often doing a monthly live stream for Patreon and YouTube memberships on Sunday evenings. It's always the last weekend of the month, and it's, again, it varies if it's on Saturday evening or Sunday evening. And this month, Adam and I had plans yesterday and went out for our anniversary, so did the live tonight, and that was a lot of fun. But I always feel a little bit like I'm turning around and saying a lot of the same things. And so I joked with them. I was like, if you want to skip this week's WIP and Chat, it's okay, because you'll probably have some deja vu if you go to listen in, because sometimes I'm chatting about the weekend or other happenings and stuff like that. So if you are interested, there's never any pressure. I try actually very deliberately not to push this much at all on my channel, but I will mention, since it came up here, I do have a Patreon as well as YouTube memberships. Just if you're interested in some more behind the scenes kinds of content or perks, there's never any pressure. If you're watching my videos, I am so incredibly grateful for you, and this kind of support that you're giving me right now is beyond appreciated. This is just if you're looking for a little bit more, but no, like I said, I really don't want anyone to feel pressure. I just want to mention that it's there, because I don't often do that. Thank you so much to my current members and past members. Never any hard feelings if you duck out. I appreciate you a lot, and your support makes a big difference. So, like I said, Adam and I went out yesterday for our anniversary, which was really nice and relaxing. We celebrated, sorry to hit my recording arm. We're celebrating 16 years of marriage, which every year I just go, that's a long time. Every year I have the same reaction. Like, dang, that's really not a small amount of time to be married to someone, to be with someone. I've already crossed the age of having known Adam and been with Adam for longer than I haven't, since I met him when I was a freshman in college. But he was a senior in college when we met. I know. And so he's got another like year or two or something. I don't know. Math is too hard for me right now. Till he hits that same mark. But it is, it's kind of wild that we've known each other and been together for that long. Gone through a lot and grown a lot, and it's really kind of cool to look back and see just, I don't know, how things have grown and changed over the years. I apparently brought my camera a little bit close to the canvas this time. I'm going to try hard not to smack it every time I'm working in this area, this section. Sorry, you guys. Try not to give you whiplash, but anyway. Thoughts on this kit before I get too carried away just talking about, the weekend and all that stuff. So this has been really enjoyable to work on. This is a kit that I'm pretty sure has acrylic round diamonds, and is a really good example of why I don't think acrylic round diamonds are bad. There are one or two colors in this kit that I do feel like are a little more, I would call it trash prone, where the bottoms of the diamonds, like the base of them, sometimes will have a little bit of extra kind of sticking out past it. And if there's too many of those next to each other, they don't fit together as nicely there. But overall, the quality has been really good. I still think it's pretty sparkly. Acrylic rounds will have a bit flatter effect, like not a super sparkly sheen compared to resin. But overall, like I don't truly have any real complaints about these diamonds. If I'm unboxing a kit and it has square drills, I will almost always mention how I prefer resin squares, because those resin squares really do need to, I don't know, it makes a difference. The material makes a difference. Acrylic squares are more likely to have that same issue of like bits sticking off the side, but it matters a lot more with square drills because there's no wiggle room with them. They're sitting up flush next to each other on all sides, so it's like if there's bits sticking off the side, then there's not space, they're gonna pop. But yeah, I don't really have any issues with this one. The rendering I feel like is pretty nice. I really like how Craftibly renders their kits, and aside from the similar symbols, I'm pretty happy with it. There's one or two colors over there. We might actually even see it in this area because it was in some of the areas with pinks and purples in it that I kind of thought, is this color right? And I need to maybe look a little bit more closely comparing it to the original artwork, but there are one or two colors I thought looked maybe a little bit off. Not sure. I'll have to go back and look at it. But otherwise, I think the special drills in this one are really nice. Craftibly was using crystals and stuff pretty early on and doing a really nice job of charting it in a way that works for the artwork, which was nice. So I had to flatten over this putty because I think I keep dropping bits in the middle. Maybe I didn't fill it quite enough. It was kind of a thin layer. If I keep having issues with drills wanting to fall off, I'll just add a little bit more so that it's not too thin of a layer. So this kit has been nice to work on in the mix of my multiple WIPs. I finished a couple of my big rotation of WIPs this time. I actually just about half an hour ago finished another one. And to give context, I'm currently working on, I started out with 8 WIPs and have been approaching them where I'm doing one row at a time. So do a row on kit number 1, put it aside, pull out kit number 2, do a row on kit number 2, put it aside, pull out kit number 3. You get the idea. And then just have been methodically working my way through them. And depending on the size of the kit, it may be split into 3, 4, 5 rows, just depending on the size, the confetti, and all that. So there were a couple of kits. There was a kit that only got split into 3 rows. And then there were 2 this round that had only been split into 4. And since I'm currently on round 4 of doing a pass on all of these, that means I got to complete those 2 kits. So Herbalist Helper was one, and then Midnight Fox was the other. And Midnight Fox I was glad to be done with. I did not have fun working on that kit, and it's one of those, I should have known better. I should have known that that was not going to be one that was as fun to work on with the color palette and all of that. I was bored. I was so focused on, I basically got tunnel vision, saw a cute fox, and didn't properly internalize that the fox takes up like maybe 20% of the kit. And the rest of it is just 310 and shades of green. It wasn't fun. There was gapping. It was, I don't know. And the render was not super great. So it was just not a super fun time. But Herbalist Helper, I really loved the original artwork on. I was finding myself more bored with that color palette than I expected. It's a lot of browns and greens. And while I love the original artwork, yeah, I was bummed that I didn't have a better time working on it. I mean, I never know sometimes. I will sometimes think like, oh, this color palette is going to be so tedious. Let me not do this one. And then it's fine. Like, remember when I worked on Persephone by Roy Tran at the beginning of the year? And I was so worried that that kit was going to burn me out. And then I started it and then was just happy as a clam, trucking right along. I don't know. What I do know is that I'm very fickle and it's very obnoxious. And I just roll with it. It's like, okay, well, I'll just do the best I can with it, I guess. So yeah, Herbalist Helper, adore the artwork. I really, really love Ivy Dolomore's artwork in general, but that kit I didn't enjoy as much as I was hoping I would. I liked it, but I thought I was gonna love it. This one, it's like about what I'm expecting. I didn't expect that I was gonna love this one. I thought I would have a nice time with it, and I am. I like how it's turning out. And what else? Of my other WIPs that are still WIPs, I'm loving Celestial Dragons for the most part. And I'm really liking Rainbow Universe. That one has been a lot of fun too. So I think when I go to pick out my next round of WIPs, I think I'll just need to up the amount of color and the amount of variety. I think I had too many browns and greens in this round, so I'm going to try to mix it up better for the next round. I still think I'm going to work on multiple WIPs. I'll see, I guess, how I'm feeling after I fully finish all of these. But I'm still liking having multiple WIPs, even if the WIPs themselves are not all bangers, I guess. So, yeah, but this one's fine. The colors are happier, especially as I'm getting up into this part of the canvas and all that. So yeah, not mad. Not mad. I think I also want to try to have more square drill kits in the mix. I'm missing having square drill kits more than I expected. Only 2 of the 8 have squares, and one of them is a little more tedious to work on because it's my custom, my John William Waterhouse custom that is just chock full of confetti and is also a very, very bland color palette. So I don't know. It's all a learning experience, I guess. And I don't know. I'll keep you guys posted on what I decide to work on. I am thinking of doing a mid-year check-in. I've had a very full video schedule and whatnot the past week or two especially. So that's why I haven't been able to put one together to go up. I almost tried to throw one together to go up on Saturday this past weekend, but with going out, with our actual anniversary being on Friday and then us going out Saturday, I just didn't want to try to cram it in. And I thought, I'll just, maybe next weekend. We'll see. But I did have one big bulk or batch filming evening that I thought was really helpful to do. And I highly recommend if you're on YouTube. But that said, I'm curious for those of you that have channels as well, how you typically approach your recording. Is it the kind of thing where you will sit down, you'll take a big chunk of time and you'll record multiple videos all at once? Or do you just do like one at a time, basically? I'm usually a one at a time person. Every once in a while, I'll feel like I have the energy to sit down and do a bunch all at once. And that was me on Wednesday or Thursday evening. A part of it was I was feeling a little bit stressed about all of the several small shop kits that I needed to unbox and post and wanted to be able to potentially start working on. And so I thought, let me at least get all of these recorded. That way, if I want to kit one of them up, I can without worrying about, oh, shoot, I haven't done the unboxing, at least recording it yet. And then there's also the benefit of if you bulk film all of it and you have all these videos that are basically ready to go, it's like you can take more evenings. Well, for me, it's evenings, days, whatever, off. And maybe they're editing days, but it's not like as many filming days, if that makes sense. So yeah, it depends. Often I just only really have the energy to do the one, and it's usually a video that I'm going to put up the next day. And so it's like I'm going to film and edit and upload all in one evening. And so yeah, sometimes it's just practical. Like I can't batch film for, 3 hours and then also still have time and energy to edit and upload. So yeah, this past week though, I sat down and spent 2.5 hours recording one night and got, I think, 4 videos recorded. They still need to be edited and uploaded, but those are ready to go. And I feel a lot better about that. And yeah, I'm very, very curious. I always like hearing about how other YouTubers like to approach this. Now, admittedly, I am pretty light on my editing. There are definitely a lot of creators out there that will do a lot more in the way of editing, and so I'm sure that affects their approach or your approach if that's you, where you're like, no, I have to film several days in advance so that I have time to do all of this editing and whatnot, and that's completely fair too. But yeah, my approach has been to keep it really light on the editing side of things. And I feel like it works for how I do things, at least for the moment. But yeah, it felt good to get several kits, unboxings recorded, and a lot of new shops that I'm hoping you'll get to see soon. If you're looking for a skip sighting and you didn't have the chance to watch my pressed and placed unboxing video, he decided to be a little diva and come and hang out at the beginning of that video. Now, it's not unusual for him to maybe walk through frame, want a couple pets, then he's just passing through. It was so funny to me that he decided that he wanted to just flop down and hang out with me while I was talking. He likes when I'm talking for videos. As much as I try so hard not to put on like a quote YouTube voice, I feel like I can't help it. I've tried to like stop it, and I just have such a hard time. It's just like it feels completely subconscious, but not subconscious, but you know what I mean. Anyway, so I just thought it was so funny that he wanted to floop down, and then he was giving me dirty looks. I was talking and not petting him, and he kept looking at me and being like, "Excuse me, you're right there. You're talking. It looks like you're looking at me, but you're not petting me. How very dare you?" So I loved his little diva cameo there, and he's just the best cat. I love him so much. Connor and I have been continuing to watch these cat foster Instagram accounts, And it all started with us watching this particular foster cat, Rue, and her journey. And then as Rue got adopted by another foster parent, not as a foster, but this person also does fostering. It's like we found another account to check daily updates on, and Connor and I we love it. We love checking in because they're really good about posting like, okay, day 30 of, a spicy kitten litter and stuff. So if you're ever looking for some really wholesome content, those kinds of accounts I feel like are real treasures. And it's also a good learning experience, I feel like. Connor and I have had some good conversations about it and whatnot. And yeah, it's been really fun. So if you're looking for some more cat content, there you go. Let's see what else has been going on. I was just thinking, speaking of videos, oh, look at that color contrast. That's so pretty. Very jewel tone. I was thinking as I was recording all of these unboxings, several of which are from new to me shops, that it feels a little bit like lately we're in this influx of shops opening. And we went through this in the diamond painting community, I'd say in end of 2020, and then especially in 2021, there were a lot of shops that were opening. And in the past year or two, we've seen a lot of those shops closing, some in some really unfortunate and not really bad circumstances. Not to I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Really not okay circumstances, like taking customers' money and disappearing. And so I can understand why there would be crafters that are hesitant to buy from other small shops because of that. And I'm just really hopeful that I'm trying to be aware of sort of red flags and stuff, even though my radar for that is absolutely not perfect. But I'm trying to keep an eye on sort of shops that it seems like they're trying to approach things the right way and in a sustainable way. And I'm hoping for only good things for everyone. But I'm in some ways curious to see how many of them will be around kind of for the long haul and how many of them it's more of a short-term thing. I will, as always, try to be an optimist and also try to be really realistic and honest about when I'm reporting back on kits that I'm working on or impressions that I have of shops. But yeah, I'm excited, though, to be sharing about some of these new shops and really hoping that it's a positive experience. So stay tuned for that. And I'll be spreading out those videos as I'm able to. Sometimes my videos are a little more time sensitive. It's like, oh, this has to match with a release that's happening or something like that. But yeah, hopefully some fun stuff coming. I got some putty on the glue. I'm just trying to pick it out real quick. It's red, so it kind of blends in, but yeah, it'll also smash down a little bit. Okay. I also don't want to lose any putty out of here. It's going to be too thin of a layer to pick up the drills that I need to. This is a 12 placer, by the way. I did forget to mention that when I was doing accessories. It's a Diamond Art Club 12 placer. I really, really like how thin their multi-placers are. They're really easy to use. It helps with lining up the diamonds, I find, because I don't know, it's not like a really wide profile, so it's easy to line them up and place them. Okay, let's do, how about that's like a letter I? Yeah, here we go. Let's see. Okay, let's chat about, I guess, some other stuff for the moment. This is one of those colors that I feel like I looked at and wondered if it was the correct color, because it looks like it's going to be brighter from the symbol, but then in here it's almost a brownish purple. So yeah, this is one of those colors I'm less confident of. We'll see how it all blends in the end. Yeah, so this weekend, Adam's parents came up and watched the kids yesterday, so we were able to go out for our anniversary. We kept it pretty low-key, and just went out to dinner and ended up spontaneously also going to a movie because our dinner went pretty quickly. So we have this sort of, it's turned into an inadvertent tradition. And it's that we're often going to downtown Disney or one of the Disneyland hotels or something to get dinner. We went to Disney World for our honeymoon, and I know, stereotypes and all, and had just the best time. It was a lot of fun. And we're lucky to live close to Disneyland. And so they're always opening new restaurants or renovating restaurants and stuff like that. And so we went to the Italian restaurant there, which we hadn't been to since they did a big revamp a few years back. So we ended up deciding to go there. For some reason, Adam was like, I'm not really in the mood for Mexican food this time. And I was like, well, like 2 out of the, 4 new restaurants that they opened that are catching my eye are Mexican. So I guess we're going to have to look at one of these other spots. He's like, yeah, we live in Southern California. We can get Mexican food anywhere. I was like, yeah, but that doesn't mean that downtown Disney's Mexican food might not be really good. But that's fine. He's got an opinion that helps us narrow it down, frankly. So anyway, we went to, it's called Naples, and ended up just getting a pizza because that's what looked really good. They do like the really flat, really flavorful, like the sauce was really good pizza. And it all went really quickly. Like, we got there early and they were able to seat us early. We hadn't hit any traffic, which was a nice surprise. We got a closer parking spot than we expected, and security was, because you have to go through like the regular security to get into downtown Disney at all. I always get excited when they have the canine unit out sniffing because I'm like, look at the good dog. He's doing such a good job. He's working so hard. It was a yellow lab this time. And so everything just went so much more smoothly than we were expecting. All the buffer we left was totally unnecessary. So we were wrapping up and Adam was like, do you want to go catch a movie? And I was like, yeah, let's go catch a movie. Let's be spontaneous. Before we had kids, we would often spontaneously go to movies. I remember there was once when it was literally midnight. And this was when movie theaters, I don't think they really do this so much anymore, but they were doing like it was a 12:30 showing of, oh shoot, what was the name of that movie? It was so trippy. It was over 10 years ago, and it was like, man, I can't believe I'm forgetting this one. It had did it have Keanu Reeves and all these different characters, and they played out these different characters and relationships over different basically in different universes, different timelines, different areas, I don't know. It was so trippy. And it was like 2.5 hours long. It was a super long movie. And I remember thinking like, it's 3:00 in the morning. And I feel like I don't even know what I just experienced with this movie right now. But no, we would sometimes go and see these movies spontaneously, and so it was a little callback to that in a way, which was really fun. So, sorry if that watch alert was super loud, because I had my hand up I have my microphone up here, and anyway. So we went and saw Toy Story 5, keeping with the Disney theme. Adam had gone and seen it with Connor previously, and I had stayed back with Micah, and he had said he thought that I would like it. And he was perfectly happy to see it again. So we went and saw Toy Story 5, and you know what? I thought it was cute, actually. And Adam described it this way, and I agree with him, that it felt like the most Toy Story of Toy Story movies in a few movies. Didn't feel like they were doing the thing that Pixar had really moved strongly in the direction of, which was basically like, ooh, the phrase I would use for this is not super YouTube friendly, but just almost like emotionally exploitative, where it's like, how can we be as sad and gut-wrenching and existential as possible and just rip out the hearts of the adults watching this movie? They'd really moved hard in that direction recently. It's like, look, Did it really well, and it was unique at the time and whatnot, and really poignant. But then they were like, how can we do that every time? And how can we push it even further? And how can we really try to get in these, like, they got wrapped up in like making these movies for adults more than kids, it felt like, as opposed to them just making really, really good movies for kids that were just so good because the stories were so good. They were so well written that it just inherently had good messaging and was enjoyable for adults too. And this kind of felt like they were like, I don't know if they've been getting more pushback, or maybe if it's reflected in box office numbers or something, that people are kind of over what Pixar has been doing in that way. And so Toy Story 5 just didn't feel, I don't know, it wasn't over the top in that way, and which was really refreshing. It was just like a, hey, we're just here for a fun adventure and like romp basically through this world. And I liked it a lot. And a fun bit of trivia is that apparently, I think Adam had said he's like a walking IMDb sometimes. It's very charming, for me anyway, that I guess after Toy Story 3 or Toy Story 4, Tim Allen, who voices Buzz, had gotten the feedback that his voice was starting to sound old, which understandably didn't the first movie come out like 30 years ago. His voice is going to change. He's going to lose especially some of that like higher register range. And apparently he went to like a vocal coach to work on helping his voice sort of scale like younger again, so that he could sort of sound more like Buzz as we knew him in like the earlier movies. I just thought that was so interesting and such a neat thing that he did, that that he was receptive to that feedback, but also that I thought that it worked. Actually, Adam and I both did. We were like, oh, Buzz actually sounds like younger in this movie, like a little closer to how we expected him to, like how he sounded in the first couple of movies. Tom Hanks is sounding a bit older though, I have to say, but it's fine. Like it's fine for what it is. Doesn't all have to be critiqued, of course, but just a fun bit of trivia. And yeah, we thought it was cute. So that was a nice just way for us to celebrate our anniversary. And the kids always love getting grandma and grandpa time. So they had brought their suits up and took the kids swimming and stuff. And so the kids didn't even care that we left. They're like, bye. Thankfully, they're well old enough at this point that it's not really a big deal. Micah was cute though. He was seeing me like kind of getting ready. I had put on a little bit of makeup and was trying to figure out what I wanted to wear. Not anything fancy, of course, just going to downtown Disney, but I still thought it's an excuse to get a little bit more put together, dress up maybe just a little bit, because why not? And Micah was asking where we were going, and I said, oh, Dad and I are going on a date tonight. And Micah said, I'll go on the date with you. It's like, I'll tell you what, buddy, we'll take you on a date another time. But this one is just Mom and Dad are going to go out, and you're going to get to see Grandma and Grandpa. And that sidetracked him perfectly well enough. And Adam's dad walked in the door, and Micah immediately walked up to him and said, Grandpa, are you ready to go swimming? So he knew what was up, and they went right off to the pool. So it was a good night was had for everybody, and yeah, it was nice to be able to get to do. Otherwise, it's been a pretty uneventful weekend. Adam is at a beach day event thing with his friends, and so I've had just a pretty chill day at home most of the day with the kiddos, and did, like I said, my Patreon YouTube memberships live earlier, and the dog, poor Scout, has been moping a bit over Adam not being here. It's funny the way that pets will really, I feel like, zero in a bit on their favorite people. Like, Connor is Skip's favorite, and I'm the runner-up. And, like, Skip is always wanting to, our cat, our tuxedo, Void Kitty, always wanting to sleep on my side of the bed, like curled up with my legs. And he's a lot more affectionate with me and like meowing and doing these little chirps and stuff. It's very, very cute. And then Scout, he does love me, but he loves Adam. We joke that he just wants to like merge into Adam's body. Like he'll just fling himself on top of Adam and just like push, like push against his face, push against his chest, just be like, I'm just here. I'm just sprawling here. I would like to just be as close to you as possible. I like to crawl inside your skin. It's so funny. I joke that Scout is even generally like more wound up when Adam is here. When Adam's not here, if he's out, I'm like, Scout's a relatively chill dog in some ways. And then as soon as Adam is here, it's like we got zoomies, we got energy, we got everything. And I'll play with Scout and everything, but it's like he's less interested even in playing with me. So I don't know. It's just funny the way that I feel like animals, pets will often gravitate. They'll have their favorite people for sure. And then Micah, Micah likes our pets like Micah, but Micah is like, he can be as a baby and as a toddler, we called him our little tiny tornado. He's less tiny now, but still tornado is probably a fair description for him. He can be a lot. So I'm not surprised that, he's very good with our pets, and Scout will often run around and play with him, but sometimes he can be a lot for the pets. And so they'll just they're not like going out of their way to engage with him necessarily. But he is really good, especially like he'll go up and very gently try to pet Skip. But then he's off to the races doing something else. So, yes, the pets are doing good. Scout also, tell you what, I swear he likes Adam's parents better than he likes me. He gets so excited when they come to visit. He just can't even contain himself. I guess he just likes people. He loves when people come over to visit him. We had a good rest of our visit with having our friend's dog Watson with us for the week. We got to hand him back off to his parents. They got back on Tuesday last week, and so that was a full 8 days that we had the pups together, and Scout basically slept for the next 24 hours. They wore each other out. They had such a good time, and I'm glad that we have Watson with our friends to help socialize Scout. I think that that's really important for him, and they get along so well. They've got a great dynamic and have kind of figured out all of that. And having someone that we can easily drop Scout off with if we're going to be going out of town is huge, which will be useful next weekend when we'll be going out of town. So this is a big week ahead. I'm going to have such whiplash in terms of feelings about it. So I have my root canal on Thursday, and my anxiety over it is sky high. I am taking my dentist up on their offer. While they don't do any laughing gas or any in-office anesthesia, I had mentioned here previously that they had offered me a medication option. And it's something I've never taken before, but I had mentioned it here, and you guys had been very reassuring about how that kind of thing can really help a lot. And so thank you so much for sharing your experience about that. It's made me feel a bit more at ease about giving it a try and really hoping that it's going to help. So I will be doing that. What that means, though, is I'm not allowed to drive at all that day, so Adam will drop me off and pick me up. He'll have the kids, Micah doesn't even have summer school that day, so he'll, bring the kids to drop me off and then come back with them to pick me up. I don't know exactly how long it's going to take. I think they blocked out an hour and a half to 2 hours for it, which even the length of time freaks me out. I'm like, that's a really, really long time to be sitting and having dental work done. Just dental work is a sensory nightmare. It's an absolute sensory nightmare. The sound and the feeling of the tools they use, and a lot of fear of experiencing pain because of past dental trauma, really. And so I just am kind of a mess about it and in deep denial about it happening. I've honest to goodness talked to my therapist about it, because I'm like, would like to be functional, really. I would like to not have this be something that is so upsetting and stressful and anxiety inducing. And she's tried to give me some tools and some suggestions, and really has tried to help, but this is something that just is so, I don't know, it's very, very deeply like internalized, and the sensory aspect of it, it's like it feels to me like there's only so much I can do, and I'm hoping it goes okay. So any good vibes you guys have to send me on Thursday morning, I would be so grateful for. And any positive stories that you would like to share about having a root canal done, I would also be grateful for. Yeah, it's on like my very back molar on the top. And there's part of me that's like, I don't even know how they're going to get to that. Like, that's going to be a really hard part of my mouth to even get to. Like, that's going to, I don't know, to have like anyway, I'm going to move on from this. But I'm really hoping that between the procedure itself and the anxiety-related medication that I'm going to be able to take the day before, I'm hoping that I'm going to be feeling much better the next day and up to driving to Phoenix, because we're planning to drive to my parents' new place in Phoenix for the 4th of July weekend. Originally, we would have probably been going on Thursday, but this was the earliest and only available day that they had for this root canal. And it's been so long since I've even been in and found out that I needed a root canal. It's like, I don't want to wait any longer, because I'm worried it's going to get worse. And the last thing I want to happen is for them to have to pull that tooth. So I'm like, I don't want to wait any longer. And I don't want this hanging over my head, any more than it already is. Like, just let me get it done and over with as soon as we can. And then hopefully I'll be able to enjoy our Arizona trip a little bit more, because it'll be done. But I'm going to have a couple more fillings I have to have done after we get back that we have to schedule. But the root canal, that's what's been actively causing me pain on and off. So I'll be glad to get that done and over with. So there's that. And then, we're planning to go to do a little road trip out to Phoenix. I'm really looking forward to seeing my parents' new place, and of course just seeing them. The kids are so excited to see their new place as well. My mom was saying she found, I guess a lot of the fireworks in Phoenix are happening this weekend that she was seeing, but she found a drone show that they'll be doing next weekend that I think we'll try to go to. She was saying that it's in the triple digits Fahrenheit wise there. I'm hearing a lot of you guys are experiencing a really intense heat wave right now, especially my like non-US friends. Like my European friends, are you guys okay? Like, I'm hearing crazy stories coming out of Europe, and I just, not even like necessarily really specific countries, it's like multiple countries. So I'm sending cooling thoughts your guys' way, because my gosh, I can't complain. We've had today and the next few days, we're having a nice little dip in our weather. It's been like a high of 75 today, and it's supposed to be the next few days. So Arizona, triple digits. We won't be going outside. My mom was saying truly people don't really go outside unless it's first thing in the morning or later in the evening. So they have some ideas for some things that we'll do with the kids that are, indoors and stuff while we're there. And I mean, we're not, the kids don't feel like they need to be on the go all the time, but we'll definitely want to have some fun stuff for them to do. So super excited for that. And I'm going to focus on that to try to get me through Thursday, and just hope that I am not feeling super tired, and that I'm not having like active pains, that we can just get up and go on Friday morning and beat the traffic. 'Cause I'm positive that tons of people will go to the lake or like go out of town, like getting out of LA and Orange County. And there's like only 1 or 2 highways that really get you out. And the traffic backup can just get ridiculous. So we're gonna, goal is to get up and go on Friday mornings, that the traffic we hit is minimal. So super excited for that. I am unsure how much this will affect my filming. We're driving, which means we can, like, I'll pack some, diamond painting in the car. I'm going to throw my recording arm in the car, stuff like that. So my mom maybe will join me for a WIP and Chat next week if you guys are interested in having her pop on. It's been a little bit since she's joined me for a WIP and Chat. So if you're interested in having, she diamond paints and would, loves joining when she can. And she's been really glad to be back to diamond painting with everything, with getting ready to move, with packing up their old house and then actually moving. She was basically, as she put it, she was just stuck with doing little minis, like paint gem sets and stuff. She's like, I just am so ready to work on a big diamond painting again. And so one of the first things that she did once they got unpacked enough at the house and she had a spot to diamond paint again was she kitted up, is it a Bridget Ashwood kit with cats? Yeah, so she loves this craft as much as I do and is happy to be diamond painting a big kit again. So yeah, TBD how much that'll affect my recording and my videos, but I'll have filmed ahead a decent amount and we'll take my recording arm for possibly recording a WIP and Chat with her, or maybe even just after everyone goes to bed. See, heck, it's even nice to be in the same time zone as my parents again. So yeah, it'll hopefully be a good weekend. And then July in general is just jam-packed with really, really fun stuff that I'm so excited for. There's this trip. There's also just a week after we come back here, we come back from Arizona, my mom is actually going to be flying out for a bit. This is, the timing was a little bit tricky, just the way that it all worked out. We knew that she wanted to fly here so that she and I could fly to the diamond painting retreat we're going to in Texas so we could fly together. And she also wanted to come out to do like a belated birthday celebration with Connor, because typically she and my dad, depending on if they both come or if it's just one of them, take Connor. Well, we all go to Great Wolf Lodge for a day for Connor's birthday, and because they were in the middle of moving, they didn't come out in May. So she's going to come out here for a few days before we're going to fly out to Texas. So we'll get a visit with her here. Then she and I will be in Texas for several days for the retreat. And then I'll come back here. She'll go back to Phoenix. And then it's going to basically be August. And then the kids start school a couple weeks after that because the school calendar is moving. So their summer is a couple weeks shorter than normal this year. So yeah, I feel truly like the rest of summer break is going to completely fly by. Like it's just going to fly. And so I'm going to try really hard to soak up the moments and not let them all just pass me by too quickly, Like, sure, grab some pictures and video, but also sometimes just try to be really present in the moment and just enjoy this special, like, family time that we get together and the memories that we're making. Yeah, I want to be really good about that this summer and really deliberate about that. So, yeah, I'll keep you guys posted on if my, video schedule will be terribly affected, but I don't really think that it will. As far as what else we've got going on, I guess I've kind of updated you on a lot of things. I was going to say Micah started summer school and that's going really well. He's enjoying it a lot. Connor has been really good about joining us to like do things like get out of the house because he's not, going out to school and stuff, and he's not doing any big camps or anything like that, but we're wanting to not just have him spend all summer indoors or on a screen. So we've been trying to do at least one outing or activity each day, and he's totally on board with that. They're both such good kids. Connor's just such a sweet kiddo. And yeah, and Connor's been good about trying new foods lately. That was the other thing, is it's like they came home from first summer break and both kids were just wanting to be little snacky fiends. And I was like, okay, if you're wanting to snack this much, what that's telling me, well, there's a couple of different reasons it could be. And I'm trying really hard to give my kids a healthy relationship with food and not a disordered one. So we're careful about how we talk about these things, the wording we use, that sort of thing. So Adam and I just kind of had a quiet conversation ourselves, and we're like, let's see about if we try to mix it up and give them some more filling foods, things that maybe are stickier in the stomach, maybe a little more protein centric and stuff. And Connor, who is notoriously like just such a picky eater, he's been interested in trying new foods. It really just started this past year or so that he's been interested in trying new things. And he was all about like getting back into sandwiches with like deli meat. And so he tried ham for the first time in a long time and was like, oh, I love it. So great, we've got something else to add to the mix on board. He tried the chicken enchiladas I made the other night, and he liked a few bites of it and then was like, okay, it's too much. I'm like, it is. I mean, it's a lot of flavor compared to what he's maybe used to, but we're just encouraging him about just trying new things in general. So love that he's been up for that. So I'm thinking about different new things that would be other logical stepping stones to try with him. It's like, okay, we know that he likes these things. So like, for example, I know that he likes a sandwich with ham and cheese. What about turkey and cheese or something, rotisserie chicken, that they have in the deli aisle and cheese or something. And the one thing I have a hard time with these kids is vegetables. Connor at least eats some, but Micah is like vegetables are the devil kind of thing. So, and it's always trying to pick the right battles with him. I don't say we get it right all the time, but I don't know. Trying to figure out the right steps with that and stuff. We'll get there, but that's been tougher than it ever was with Connor. So as far as what I've been reading and watching and listening to, I did start Dawn Shard, which is a Brandon Sanderson novella. It's the next in sort of the lineup. I'm working my way through basically, let's be real, like basically all of his books at this point. It's quite an extensive library, but I'm going ahead and reading them in kind of a deliberate reading order. And this is a novella that was available for me to check out from Libby without any wait. And so I did check it out as an ebook. They didn't have an audiobook version on Libby for either of my library systems. So I thought, but it's a novella. It's only like 50,000 words. It's like I read 50,000 word fic on Archive of Our Own on the regular. Like it's not going to be that hard. But I didn't want to use an Audible credit on a novella, like a short novella. So I thought, let me just do the ebook. It'll be fine. I'm maybe a fourth of the way into it, and I'm not reaching for it as quickly. I don't know why. I'm just not sitting down and reaching for it as often, but I'm liking it. So I'll get through it. I'll have at least the deadline on Libby to sort of keep me motivated. But it's good. It's in like the Stormlight archive universe of it all. And then watching, I mentioned that we went and saw Toy Story 5. I almost said Toy Story 2. Toy Story 5. Did I misspeak and say the wrong thing earlier in this video? I might very well have. Oh, well, you know what I meant. And I also finished season 2 of The Sandman. And I was content with it. I haven't read the original graphic novels, so I wasn't sure sort of what was canonical with it. But I mean, I liked it. And given that they knew that this was going to be the end of the show, as far as I understand it, it made sense. It was nice that it wasn't ending on a big cliffhanger. And I mean, there were things that I didn't think they did super great, but overall, like, I enjoyed it. I'm glad that it exists to enjoy more of that story with those characters. So yeah, I had the chance to finish that. And then listening to, I feel like I need to have my Taylor Swift fan card revoked because I hadn't actually listened yet to the song that she recorded for Toy Story 5 until we were in the end credits of the movie. And you know what? I liked it. I'm very partial to her country days, her country roots, and those earlier albums of hers. And the song really felt like it was a callback to that genre and to her roots. And so I liked it a lot. I thought it was really sweet. I just thought the whole story of how she went about like writing and getting on board with writing this song for them was, I don't know, it was cute. So yeah. As far as what I've got coming out this week, I have some more unboxings from more new to me small shops and stuff. And so, got that coming. I don't know if I'll have any post reviews for you necessarily this week. We'll see. But, I'll also have, let's see, we're coming up. This is the end of the month. So a month in review for June will be coming. And I think that Pure Bliss Wax is sending me their monthly box to share as well. And maybe a mid-year check-in video. I want to kind of map out. I need to revisit the goals that I set for myself and my bingo card and all that good stuff. So yeah, a lot of the kind of usual end of the month, beginning of the next month kinds of videos. That said, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, how about, is there like, oh, I don't know actually if that's, I was going to say like a crystal. I don't know if there is a crystal emoji. A crystal or like a rock emoji. There is a rock emoji, I'm pretty sure. So like a crystal or a rock emoji, because we've got like, she's got this like crystal necklace going on here and like in her forehead too. That's kind of my thought. Or if that's not there, I know that there's a fairy emoji and she's the last fairy. I wonder what the lore is behind this piece. I should go look up Wormtail's profile and see if they've talked about it. Anyway, yeah, leave that emoji if you made it all the way to the end. Also, let me know if you would like what you were working on while we chatted today and how you've been. How's life treating you? And if you are new and not already subscribed and enjoyed this video and want to see more from me, I'd invite you to subscribe to my channel. I would really love to have you here. I do these weekly WIP and Chats on Mondays and also do unboxings and reviews from a variety of different companies, as well as how-tos and tutorials and just everything diamond painting related all the time here. So anyway, you guys, thanks for joining me for today's WIP and Chat. I would say as far as these accessories go, I think I really just should have loaded a little bit more putty in here and I think it would have behaved better. But overall, I wouldn't call this too soft or sticky, even in this kind of warmer, more humid weather. Now, it's not as hot as it could be here, so do take it with that grain of salt. Some of you have it much, much hotter than we do, but yeah, still summer days, so I can somewhat report back on how it's behaving anyway. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing great. Thank you again for watching. Happy crafting this week. I will be thinking of you, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye, guys.